Was always in my dream since I was a child, to live in the countryside, to follow the rhythm of the seasons, to be able to look outside the window and fill up my heart with peace and joy. This is Tuscany to me. Now my dream came true. Borgo Scopeto in the Chianti Classico area, Caparzo in the hills of Montalcino, and Doga delle Clavule in Maremma, close to the Tuscan Sea, the land of Morellino.
We're at Relais Borgo Scopeto, a few minutes from Siena, in the heart of the Chianti Classico region, a noble and enchanting place, full of history. Finally restructured, the Borgo preserves the same elegant atmosphere of the past. To arrive, you pass through a long and suggestive cypress drive. All along are numerous vineyards, olives, and holm oaks. On the horizon, you have Siena, and standing out, the Torre del Mangia and the Duomo's bell tower. The Borgo covers a 500-hectare surface, 70 of which destined to vineyards, in majority Sangiovese, 50 to olive trees, while the remaining 350 hectares are woods and residential. The vineyards are situated on several hills, with an altitude that goes from 360 to 420 meters over sea level. The soil characteristics are those typical of the Chianti region, clay mixed with limestone.
A great enologist from way back, advancing in age but with a young palate, during a tasting of Sangiovese, said to me a long time ago that the hills surrounding Vagliali were the best place to grow Sangiovese in the whole Chianti Classico area, including Florence, and that the wines grown in this area are highly recognizable. Our philosophy is to define the quality from the very first phase of maturation by an accurate selection of the best grapes, starting with the harvest only at the achievement of the right balance between the technical and phenolic maturity. Thanks to the diverse composition of the soil of the area and the microclimate of our vineyards, we are able to make wines in a traditional way using the different clones, and thus succeeding in achieving the maximum expression from our vines. Included in the same philosophy is the choice of wood used for the aging. We strongly believe in Sangiovese and its potentiality, either alone or with other grapes. For this reason, we have elaborated different types of aging for the wines we produce. Chianti Classico Borgo Scopeto is produced with Sangiovese grapes and aged in untoasted oak wood casks from Slavonia for 12 months. We now present the Cru Vigna Misciano Riserva Chianti Classico. This has been aged for around 18 months, one part in 30 hectoliters Slavonian oak barrels, the other in 500 liters French medium toasted oak barrels. The Super Tuscan Borgo Scopeto is Borgo Nero. The base grape is Sangiovese, with 20% Cabernet Sauvignon and 20% Syrah. This cru has been aged for 18 months in 300 liters French oak medium toasted barrique. We finish with our Vinsanto, made of the best grapes from Malvasia Bianco and Trebbiano Bianco, dried in a purpose-built room for 4 months. After pressing the grapes, the must obtained is aged for 5 years in small oak caratelli.
At the end of the 90s, my mother added to the properties Tenuta Caparzo in Montalcino. We immediately fell in love with this unique landscape and wine. We learned how to be fond of Val d'Orcia, understanding its pros and cons. This is the land of Sangiovese Grosso, here named Brunello, which makes one of the most appreciated wines in the world. Sangiovese has proved to be very faithful to this region. In fact, nowhere else reaches the high performances that are obtained in this soil.
Some scholars believe that the name Caparzo comes from the Latin caput arsum, which means land kissed by the sun. The farm has been expanded and modernized throughout the years. Today, it's one of the most well-known and appreciated of the world. Tenuta Caparzo spreads out on a total surface of 200 hectares, 90 of which are vineyards. La Casa, La Caduta, Il Cassero, Caparzo, and San Piero Caselle lie on a hillside area with an altitude that goes from 220 to 300 meters above sea level.
For the past 40 years, we've been able to acquire vineyards in the best areas for the production of the Brunello di Montalcino, using our knowledge of the diverse terrain, different microclimates, and exposure of the vineyards, with the result being an exceptionally high-quality wine. The quality of Caparzo is born in the vineyard, thanks to the meticulous manual work, the dry pruning, the selection of perfect shoots, and the most important element, the thinning out of the grapes on the vine.
The geographical location and morphological conformation of the vineyards and soil allow us, every year, withstanding the weather conditions, to obtain high performances from our grapes.
The same scrupulous attention we use in the vineyards is repeated in the cellars, where another selection of the grapes is made to guarantee their integrity. All the vinification process is done in the most traditional way. For the aging of the wine, we use traditional Slavonia oakwood barrels of 50 to 80 hectoliters, French oakwood barrels of 30 hectoliters, tonneaux or barriques of 225 to 350 liters. Different barrel sizes and aging times are used as stated in each wine regulation. Caparzo's brand is distinguished by the Brunello di Montalcino DOCG, a wine of great elegance and austerity. Produced with 100% Sangiovese grape, it's aged for 3 years in 50 hectoliter oak barrels. 5 years from the harvest, 100,000 bottles are distributed worldwide. From the best vintages, we select a small quantity of wine to produce the Brunello di Montalcino Riserva. This special production is aged for further 12 months before being introduced to the market. Born from the selection of the best grapes of La Casa vineyard located on Montalcino's most suitable hill, Brunello di Montalcino Vigna La Casa Cru constantly wins many national and international awards. This wine, aged in barriques and in 50 hectoliter barrels, has a limited production of 12,000 bottles. Caparzo always believed and relied in this amazing Rosso di Montalcino, made only of Sangiovese grapes and aged in barrels for 12 months. This wine appears fresh and captivating. Foreseeing its potential, Caparzo has been the first to introduce a cru of Rosso di Montalcino, La Caduta. Limited to 6,000 bottles, it is aged for 18 months in French oak barrels. Like the other reds of Montalcino, this wine complements beautifully aged cheese and wild game. Our sweet dessert wine is the traditional and historical Moscadello di Montalcino DOC, which matures 18 months in 225-liter barriques. The two wines that best describe Caparzo's spirit of innovation are its two super Tuscans, Ca del Pazzo, a wise blend of Sangiovese and Cabernet Sauvignon, aged in barriques for 24 months, and Le Grance, a greatly structured white wine made with Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Traminer. Matured in tonneau for about 12 months, it brings together Chardonnay's rich structure with the freshness and aroma of the Sauvignon and Traminer.
We're in Maremma, precisely at Doga delle Clavule, in the Morellino di Scanzano production region, another exceptional DOCG of the Tuscan heritage.
Doga delle Clavule is found in the Maremma inland, land of great spaces, woods and hills that descend directly to the sea, in the suggestive Costa d'Argento.
Morellino di Scanzano, which became famous and appreciated only in the last few years, has very ancient origins. The many archaeological sites demonstrate that it was certainly the Etruscans to first bring throughout these hills the cult of the vine. Its name Morello comes from the dark color of the grape, which recalls the coat of the typical horses from Maremma. This is where Morellino gets its personality.
Maremma was once the land of butteri, horses and cows herdsmen, symbols of lost traditions. Doga delle Clavule has a hillside position, optimal for cultivating vines. At Tenuta Doga delle Clavule, we produce Morellino di Scansano DOCG, obtained from the Sangiovese grape, enriched with Merlot and Alicante, aged for 4 months in 50 hectoliter barrels. It is a young wine with a strong personality. We complete the range with Rosato and Vermentino, 2 fresh wines ready to drink, which go very well with seafood, typical of Maremma.
Today, high-quality Italian wines, with Tuscany at the forefront, have a greater appreciation both in Italy and overseas. At Caparzo, we were amongst the first pioneers of this wonderful conquest with Brunello di Montalcino 1970 and later in 1977 with Brunello Vigna La Casa. A close collaboration and trust built over time with our partners let our fans know about these high-quality wines. Caparzo with Brunello di Montalcino, Borgo Scopeto with Chianti Classico, and Doga delle Clavule with Morellino di Scansano today represent some of the best regions that Tuscany has to offer.
3 very different realities, 3 great Italian DOCG.
Symbol of the Tuscan wine heritage, brought together by Sangiovese.
A faithful grape that we trust and with which we work hard to obtain only the best.